Hi, welcome to episode 3 of the Inspired Knitting Podcast. I am your host, Bobby, and today is April the 6th, 2014. Hope everybody has been having a great week, and I hope it's nice, warm, and sunny where you are. Here in southern Ontario today, we got beautiful sunshine, and it's mild. I love it. So, very happy. Um, so let me see. I'd like to start off with sending out some thank yous. I'd like to thank everybody who has been watching our videos and who has subscribed to us. We appreciate that. And I would also like to thank everybody who come over to our Revelry group and join the Inspired Knitting Podcast group and introduce themselves and showing their projects. We love that. We love hearing from you guys and we love seeing them. So thank you so much for joining. To start off, I think I'll get right into works in progress. Or no, actually, it'll have to be finished objects. I actually got something this week. Kind of funny because I didn't think I would, but I was cleaning up my room this week and I had noticed that I had a whip that I had kind of tossed at the back of my table and forgot about. And I brought it out the other night and I finished it. And it's my Zuzu's Petals. I finally finished it. I think when I put this down, I was on the second repeat of the lace pattern here. I was on like row 20 of 42 rows, something like that. So within a couple hours the other night, I managed to finish all but from here right down to the bottom here and finished off the lace. So it worked up rather quickly. I did the worst weight version. This is the Zuzu's Petals pattern by Karina Spencer. It is a paid pattern from Rivalry. She has this cowlet in a worsted version or a sport version. I end up going for the worsted. And here's the back here. You can see how it has this hole here for your head, and it goes on and wears as a cowl, but then the front here, as you can see, very much looks like a shawl. So I really love that. I thought it was cool. So that is my Zuzu's Petals. The yarn that I used for it was Red Heart's boutique yarn, and I think it's the Midnight one, and this colorway is in Tropical, which I'm very pleased with how that color graduated down. It's just so pretty. Love it. So that's that one. The next one that I have is not a fully finished project, but they're half finished. I finished one of my dad's socks, and here it is. This is the Roger sock. So I finished her off. I put it on the the sock blockers, so you guys could see this pattern a little bit better. I know last time it was squishing in on itself, so that is. I did the pattern down the foot and just did a regular stockinette foot, and I did the slip. I think this is the slip repeal. I did what was in the pattern. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, there's that one. This yarn I'm using is Blue Moon Fiber Art Socks at Rock, and it's in the Rune Fledge colorway. Very, very pretty. So I got one of those done. I did cast on the second one. I think I'm almost finished doing the cuff, and I can start working the pattern now. The second sock that I have been working on is one for my mom, and it's also one I am doing for Erin's challenge sock along. So as you guys saw in my last video, I had started the Level Up socks, and the designer is Heather from the Fiberista Files podcast, and it's a gorgeous pattern, and it's not that hard. It's just got this intricate cable going down the leg of it and down the foot. And I have done cables before. It's just that there's a lot going on with them, and there's nothing wrong with her pattern. It's written out beautifully. It's written instructions. There's charted instructions as well. It's just me. I was having a bad day. I managed to do the whole entire leg, and I got down to the foot when I messed up. I was having a really bad day. I shouldn't have really been touching it at all, but I was determined that I was going to at least get my heel done that night. And I got down to the heel, and there's some instructions on how to continue that pretty cable down the foot as you're doing your gusset. It just wasn't clicking with me. My brain was not working. I ended up messing it up, so I went to frog it back. And when I frogged it back, I lost some stitches, and it was a mess. And in my frustration, I just frogged it out. I couldn't pick that one back up and start it again, so I decided that I was going to cast on a different sock and something a little bit more easy. So this is what I come up with. This is just a pattern, that I come up with. It's just 2x2 rib for the cuff here, and then the pattern here is just a simple slip stitch. I just knit 3 stitches and then slipped 1 purlwise. I completed that all the way around for the leg, and down the foot I just did a regular stockinette foot and a slip rib heel. So that's pretty much it. I posted this on my Ravelry page, what I did, if you're interested. I used a size 2.5 millimeter needle, and I casted on 64 stitches for it. So it's just like a basic recipe that you can find on my project page for it. So I do not have instructions for the heel flap or the gusset or the toe or anything. It's just basically what I did here. So if you're interested, you can find it there. Let me just see here. The yarn I'm using for this project is a seller I found on Etsy. Her Etsy name is Lanny Mex Machina, and you can find her on Etsy under that name. You can find her at her website at that name, as well as Facebook. And here it is. This is her glitter sock base, which is a 70-25-5. It's a superwash merino, nylon, and stellina. And it is in the colorway Destinations Mumbai. And I absolutely love it. My camera is pretty much picking that up in its true form. It's these bright, beautiful colors, but it's still got this darkness to it. I just love it. And it's got that sparkle, which I'm really loving too. So, in love with this yarn. I recommend you check out her Etsy page. She has lots of beautiful yarns. So, and her Destinations Mumbai. I think this was a collection that she has going, which might still be available. I didn't check it out before I come on here, but she has some very gorgeous yarns, so I recommend you check her out. So that's that. I got one more. Sorry about that. I have one more works in progress. I started a blanket last night. It is the Vivid Blanket by Tin Can Knits. I have been wanting to do this one for a while. I got the yarn for it back when the Olympics were going, and I was going to do it for the Ravelin Games on Ravelry. It didn't happen. I ended up getting everything set and ready to go. When the game started, I cast it on, and it just wasn't working. I've never knitted a square from the center working outward on DPNs before, so the pinhole method was a whole new thing for me. You can do it on DPNs, or you could do it as a magic loop crochet method. And so of course I went for the crochet method, and it worked. My problem was then my needles. I had chosen the nickel-plated Knit Picks DPNs, and I love nickel plate because I love the slickness of them. Your stitches are easy to slip off. It's wonderful. but when you're working on something so small, and because my yarn is merino with silk in it, your stitches just slip right off, and the weight of the nickel plated needles just bears down on those stitches, and it's just not fun. So I had set it aside, meaning to get new needles, and other things came, and I just totally forgot about it. So I had, when I was cleaning up my room, I had saw the yarn, and I'm like, okay, I have to get my needles so I can do this. So I went on to Webs, which is yarn.com, and I had gotten some Knitter's Pride carbons because I do love those for the socks, and they're very light. I got the package on Friday, and unfortunately, they were the wrong needles. They actually sent me these ones, which are the Knitter's Pride Dreams, which are wood. And I contacted them, and they apologized and straightened it all out. They're going to be sent out on Monday, and they told me to keep these. So that was really nice of them. They have really great customer support. I've ordered three orders from them so far, never had a problem. So they're really great. So anyways, I decided, well, these are lightweight. I'll give them a try with my yarn and see if they work. I typically don't like working with wood because they don't slip right, but I thought I would try. And I'm glad I did because these needles are wonderful. If you've ever tried the Knit Picks Harmonies, the wood ones, they have this nice coating on them, which allows just enough slippage. That's wonderful. But these ones here have extra coating on them or something because these just slip beautifully, but not enough so that your stitches would slip off of it. So I'm pleasantly surprised with these, and I totally recommend them. They're very lightweight. They are very nice to work with. So if you haven't tried them, definitely check them out. They're really nice. So the size that I have here is a US 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter. For this blanket, I am using, or you're supposed to use 3.75 needle for fingering weight, which is what I'm using. So I am down in needle size, but I don't mind. So anyways, here's my square. I just did this last night, and as you can see, they work up rather quick. I managed to complete this within a matter of a few hours. It is absolutely gorgeous. I just love how classic they look. They just look beautiful. The yarn that I chose to do this in is Knit Picks Fingering, Gloss Fingering, which is a combination of merino and silk. And the yarn that I chose to, the colorway I chose to use is Scarlet, which is just beautiful, beautiful bright red. It's so pretty. So I got 4 hanks of this yarn. So I estimate that I would get maybe 16 to 18 of these squares. So yeah, very, very happy with it. It's very easy once you get the hang of the middle part. And I did run into a problem with it. Just set that aside. I had used my DPNs, and I only use 3 when I knit socks typically. 4 just seems a little too awkward for me. And I started this square, and what you need to do when you start is, because it's lace, you have your repeats, and the way that it's set up is that each one of those repeats, which is, you end up with 4 in the end, but each set of your repeats will go on to these 4 DPN needles, and because I was using 3 DPN needles, it was all off, so I kept screwing up. I think this was my 6th try before I actually got it, but I was determined to get it, and I did. But Tin Can Knits is a very wonderful designer. You should really check them out. They have a website which gives you helpful tips and tricks and tutorials for the different patterns, including the Vivid here. and that's how I was able to finally get it. I realized that using 4 needles was much better to start off. That way your repeats are on your needles, and if you do mess up your lace, you don't have to go back through a whole round of stitches to see what happened. So it was much easier. I finally figured it out. It works out very, very quick. I'm following written instructions because I like that better, but there is charted instructions as well if you prefer that. So it is a paid for pattern on Ravelry, but it is totally worth it. So I definitely recommend checking that out. So that's it for me for works in progress. I guess I'll go on to spinning now. I ended up getting a lot of spinning done actually. I ended up finishing my, what is it, Canadian mohair locks that I showed you guys last week that I had dyed up. I finished them and got it off the bobbin and hanged, and this is it. I just love it. It is so soft and it is so squishy. It's wonderful. It's very much thick and thin, like I said, but I don't mind that. I intentionally left these fluffy areas, like you can see one right there. I intentionally left those in there to make it more of an artsy type yarn. But yeah, this is my first hand spun. I'm officially calling it my first hand spun because I have started the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, but I have never finished that one, so I am calling this my first official hand spun. So yeah, I put this on my Nitty Naughty to hang it back up, and I end up getting 84 yards, which out of a 100 gram bag, I think I did okay. I'm not exactly sure about this stuff yet, but that's what I got, and I'm happy with it. I have another 100 gram bag of the mohair locks, plus I have 2 bags of Leicester locks. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. I might dye up the other mohair locks in the same colors and maybe do a cowl or another cowlette or something along those lines. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, that's one thing I have finished for spinning. I do have something on the bobbins right now. I ended up starting one of my Leicester locks. I dyed those up, which was kind of interesting. I dyed it up with some waste dye that I had, and it was like a deep teal. There was a red and there was some purple, and I just randomly poured the color over top when it was in my container. I don't do this on the stove. I do it in my microwave. So I have my container with my water, and I would just randomly pour on this waste dye, and it was looking really, really beautiful. I put that in, and then I flipped it over, and I did the other side just to make sure it hit the bottom, because I had the problem of the bottom not, fully getting the dye last time. And it worked. I cooked it and brought it out, and it was really interesting because the locks sucked in so much of that dye that you couldn't even tell that I had put deep teal on it. It actually looks more of a gray, really a blue gray, which totally interesting but cool at the same time. My red did stick. I ended up getting a darker shade of red than what I actually put on, and I got some brown in there, some sections turned brown, and I got a little tiny bit of purple. There wasn't that much purple. So it turned out really nice. I had 100 grams of that I dyed up, and it's all on my bobbin right now. I did spin it. I'm kind of surprised that I was really consistent with it. It's still thick and thin, but I'm staying more thinner now, so I'm happy about that. Um, so yeah, I don't have it to show you guys though, because it's on my spinner right now, and I didn't want to haul it out here. But I just have a little portion like this of locks left, so I will get those spun up hopefully in the next 2 weeks before the next video, so it should be ready to show you guys. So yeah, That's it for spinning. So I guess I will go on to shop update because I don't have no stash enhancement this week. So yeah, the first two items I have to show you are kind of in relation to the dye-along that are going on. Jinx Yarn, the dyer's notebook, which is Laura. She's having a dye-along right now for spring 2014. And if you go to our website, you can see in the last episode's show notes, I have a link to her rivalry in that, so you can check her out. But I've been playing around with my inspiration board and dyeing up some different things, and just to see which one I want to submit and which one I like. So I have 3 of them in total. One of them you guys saw maybe last week or in my first video. I had dyed up a colorway which was very similar to this one, and it's just these bright yellows and bright sunset orange with that beautiful river blue and green. So I did that one again. This time I did it on a DK weight base though. So in the way that I laid out my hank, you got longer strands of color, whereas my other one was much shorter. So I got that one. And then the next one I did was this one. This one was inspiration from the Black Beach in Hawaii. I have this really pretty picture of it. It's like beautiful black rock with this green lush vegetation, and then you got these beautiful purple flowers that surround it, and it's just so beautiful. So I took inspiration from that beach, and I got the black of the rocks, I got the green for the vegetation, and then I got the purple of the flowers. My purple ended up turning out a little bit darker than the one in the picture, but it's still okay. I got the blue of the ocean, and then I left in some white for like the caps on the water. So there's that one. And the last one I did, this one's not really in relation to the dye-along. I just used the waste dye from this one and space dyed up this one. I was just playing around with space dyeing, and I wanted to see different techniques and that come from it. So I come up with this one. So very, very pretty. I think out of the 2 that I've done though, I might submit this one. I'm really happy about this one. I love how it turned out. So yeah. Anyways, this one here is on a new base. This is merino and silk. I will have it listed in the shop. These don't have colorway names yet or anything. I'm not sure what's going up and what's not. This one, I'm very sure I'm going to use this for my dye-along and keep tinning it up. So this one probably will not be up, but this one will definitely be up. This is in DK base, which is Superwash Merino. This one is merino and silk, which is a fingering weight. There's 420 yards in total. And the last one that's going up in the shop is this one, which is Superwash Merino and Nylon. So it's an 80-25 blend. And I've named this one Spring Blossoms because it reminds me of a beautiful spring garden. So that one will be going up as well. This one's got greens and different shades of pink and purple. So very excited and happy about this one. And there is 462 yards in this one, so yeah. The shop update will be this Monday at between 1 and 2 o'clock. I really do strive for it to be up by 1 o'clock. Last week it was more like 2 o'clock, and I apologize for that. But yeah, those will be up. If you would like to check it out, you can go to our website at sweetcomfortdesigns.com and you will see the banners as well as the link up in the top right of your screen for our Etsy, so you can check stuff out there. I have 2 more things to show you. This is also shop related. I have one of these. This is Superwash Merino and 25% nylon roving. And I did this one in charcoal gray. I did it in light gray and then a beautiful navy blue. So there's that one. And then there's this one. This one is Superwash Merino. Oh, I'm sorry, it is not, sorry. It's Polworth and Silk. Sorry about that. It's Polworth and Silk, and this one has beautiful shades of teal, pink, and purples, and then I also got some pretty, you can see it better on this side, got some pretty rich browns in here, although I don't think my camera's picking that up right. But yeah, these are shades of brown here. So there's that one. So these 2 will also be up in the shop as well if you're interested. So that is all for us this week. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're following us on YouTube, comment, like, and subscribe. We love hearing back from you. And if you're watching this on iTunes, just go to our website at sweetcomfortdesigns.com and I will have all the show notes listed for all the patterns and stuff that you saw here today. So until 2 weeks from now, have a great weekend and have a great week ahead, and I will see you guys all then. Take good care. Bye.